Hey everybody, Patrick here. Again, you're watching this on my Facebook. I don't need to reiterate it because you pretty much get the point already. Right now, I'm watching. It's a DVD. You know, I alternate between Netflix and DVDs and stuff like that. I'm gonna give me a DVD. But seriously, I just playing guys. But watching The Hills season 1. I got it used at Rasputin for like under $10, like a couple years ago. But enough with the what am I doing kind of thing right now as we speak on this video and talk about what this video is actually about. You know, I know a lot of people in this world have phobia. I mean, not everybody, but there are a lot of people out there who have a certain type of phobia. There's something about them that scares them to the core. Like they have something about their personality that frightens them to death. And traumatizes them that they wouldn't really get involved with it or have any part of it. I mean, right now as we speak, my only phobias right now is in my current life are insects, because who would really want to look at those creepy crawly creatures and stuff like that. And of course, the fear of being lonely and like I'm a failure and no woman loves you for who you are and stuff like you're gonna be single for the rest of your life, and that's not a good feeling, But I'm not actually gonna talk to you about a phobia that most of you guys don't know too much about when it comes to me. I remember as a kid growing up, my parents didn't really care what I watched on television back in the day. It's kind of interesting because my father is a Buddhist and my mother is a Christian. You would think that if you grew up with a family who has a certain religious background to them, they're going to be very strict on what you watch on TV and the entertainment you consume on a daily basis. It was never like that for me because I remember growing up, like me and my brother would watch Nightmare on Elm Street every time HBO or Showtime has a free preview and stuff like that on cable. Maybe it'll be free to watch for about 3 days, and it'll turn back, and the picture will get all scrambled like long after that free trial is done with. And that movie was rated R too, and I watched a lot of shows that traumatized me to death growing up, like Unsolved Mysteries. One of my favorite shows of all time. Unsolved Mysteries traumatized the hell out of me as a kid. But I watched every single episode because this whole thing just fascinated me, Despite how traumatized I was, how literally I was shaking in my boots watching this TV show on my old 32-inch Sony CRT television set that weighed at least like 250 pounds or so. I took it like a trooper, and most kids around that age would never want to do anything like that again if it scared them that much, But because of all the age-inappropriate content I consumed, whether it was entertainment or just in general, it really gave me this, believe it or not, it really did give me this fear of going outside by myself late at night with no one around to keep me company, It's kind of, a lot of kids, they think that like before they reach 10 or 11 or 12, life is one big fairy tale like a Disney movie and stuff like that. But I mean, a lot of my friends who know me the best knew I had a very rough childhood, and I remember even before the age of 10, which is technically the age you reach pre-adolescence in the world, I knew stuff about murders and paranormal and rapists, pedophiles, child abductors, even well before I was 10 years old, because of the entertainment I consumed as a child, growing up, because I wouldn't want to say my parents are bad parents for letting me watch this kind of stuff, and I'm pretty sure they got away with it in later years because I was able to take care of myself and fend for myself as I got older, But up until I was at least 14 or 15, I had this fear of walking outside the streets anywhere late at night or when the sun is down, the moon is up, I remember because I had this fear that like there would be some kind of creepy guy standing 2 feet away from me with a gun in his hand or a knife, or there's gonna be something that's gonna be so risky being outside late at night that even if I was careful enough to even walk this place wherever I'm going to, something bad would happen, and that's why and it would lead to something very grim and very nasty, and that's why I had this fear before I became a teenager in high school. I couldn't even walk out at night to even do anything by myself because I would end up basically getting really scared. I mean, I'm not sure if it's some kind of phobia or mental illness kind of thing, really, but but then again, if I walked by myself outside during the daytime, whether it's foggy or sunny, depending on whether it's gonna happen in San Francisco that day, because we have very bipolar weather. That doesn't bother me. I can play with children and be outside by myself before I was 15 during the daytime, but nighttime it just really was not a fun thing for me because I remember my mom would go, before she would go to bed. Right before I have to go to bed at 11 or 10:30 to go to school the next day, she would tell me to mail her bills and stuff like that because she was too tired to do it herself, So I would open the door in my house and close it, unlock it because I had to get back inside just after that because the mailbox was just one block down from my house actually. And yeah, it did scare me really, it really did scare me because after all the things I consumed and known about growing up, that was very dark and grim and stuff like that. I just couldn't keep my cool when I was outside because I remember like there were these weird images that something was gonna happen while I was outside mailing my mom's bills in the mailbox and dropping it in the mailbox. So it was not a fun situation. I remember after I would drop her bills in the mailbox a block down from my house, I would be like fucking the Running Man and just run back to my house long afterwards because I just couldn't take being outside at night anymore by myself because it was just too dodgy for me really. But how I got over that fear was when I was in high school at Wallenberg freshman year, I had to adjust to defend for myself for the first time. And there were instances where I would hang out my drummer Tommy from Patch Glue Band, also one of my best friends from high school, and we would basically play basketball up until 6 or 7 or something. We do our homework while we're playing basketball in between, and I would sometimes have to take the bus home when the sun was down. At first I was getting a little skeptical about it, but by that time, I really was able to adjust and assimilate to the situation even better than I did before. And I was basically fearless of going out late at night or pitch black in the dark by myself on my way home to fend for myself, because that's how by that time when I was 15 years old, I was able to walk outside my house by myself at night or go back to my house or travel in the dark by myself. I already gotten over that fear. Well, there's not a lot of things that scare me actually, generally speaking, whether it's bad people giving me problems and bullying me, that doesn't scare me. It just makes me want to even fend for myself even more, I'm not scared of dying or physical injuries and stuff like that because I'm very well adjusted to those kind of things because I've been there and done that, It's just the only fears I have as far as phobias goes is basically the fear of being lonely and single for a long time or maybe forever or something like that, or insects, of course, because I have this fear of insects because they just look really like, oh god, gross. And they just look unpleasant and stuff like that, and they can actually they can actually attack you like you see in those horror movies when you're a kid. Those are the only things I'm pretty much scared of. Is mostly the insects, and more likely the emotional state of not feeling like you belong anywhere with someone, or just you know, the thought that you're a failure in this life and you have nothing to be proud of, you know. Those are the things that scare me now as a 30-year-old man, but hey, I've came a long way, so I'm pretty fearless of most things, really, you know, and I've done a good job at it, you know.